Welcome back. Deuteronomy 21. This is Deuteronomy chapter 21, verses 1 through 21. Now, this is the law concerning unsolved mysteries. It says, if anyone is found slain, lying in the field in the land which the Lord your God is giving you to possess, and it is not known who killed him, then the elders and your judges shall go out and measure the distance from the slain man to the surrounding cities. And it shall be that the elders in the city nearest to the slain man will take a heifer, a female cow, which has not been worked and which has not been pulled with a yoke. The elders of the city shall bring the heifer down to a valley, and flowing waters which is neither plowed nor sown, and they shall break the heifer's neck in the valley. This is 5. Then the priest, the son of Levi, shall come near for the Lord your God, who has chosen them to minister to him, and to bless in the name of the Lord by the word. Every controversy and every assault shall be settled. And all the elders of the city nearest to the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifers whose neck was broken in the valley. Then they shall answer and say, our hands have not shed this blood, nor have our eyes seen it. Provide atonement, O Lord, your people of Israel, whom you have redeemed, and do not lay innocent blood to the charge of your people Israel. An atonement shall be provided on their behalf for the blood. And you shall put away the guilt of the innocent blood from among you when you do what is right in the sight of the Lord. Now this is verse 10, and this is verse 10 through 14. It talks about female captives. So basically in 21, what it's saying is if they find somebody that was murdered and they do not know who murdered them, the elders go and see who the closest person is to the town. It's like the closest town to the person. Then they go get a cow. One that's never been worked, one that's never been yoked or anything. And they take it down to the river and they cut its neck, and all those people of the town wash their hand in the blood. And they cry out to Jesus saying, it's not me, it wasn't me, please have mercy on us, of the innocent. And then, so you shall put away the guilt of the innocent blood from among you, from what you did is right in the sight of the Lord. So, you gotta put it away. And now, I'm not saying that people should go and kill somebody and not be found. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, in my thoughts is, this was the day of Deuteronomy, and we don't know who the unsolved person is. And I get it, as parents and everything, we want to know who killed our child, and we want justice. But at the same time, you're gonna drive yourself insane going for justice. I think that when you go and find something, when you're trying to go find answers, I think that you should do it in the sense of, to the point where you get the justice, but it's not your whole life. It's not your every waking moment. It's not that, because you're going to drive yourself mentally insane. And ultimately, God knows who did it. And God is working on that person. We may not see it, but God is working on that person. And when that person dies, that person's gonna go Judgment Day, and he's gonna get judged. That's just that. And and sometimes people get accused for killing somebody, and then they get put to death, and it wasn't even that person. I just think that leave it in God's hands. God's got it. God's got it. Just don't drive yourself mentally insane. Okay, this is female captives. It says, when you go out to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God delivers them into your hands and take them captive, and you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and desire her, and would take her for your wife, then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave, that's a tongue twister, her head, and trim her nails. She shall put off her clothes of her captivity, remain in your house, and mourn her father and her mother a full month. After that you may go into her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. And it shall be, if you have not delight in her, then you shall set her free. But you certainly shall not sell her for money. You shall not treat her brutally, because you have humbled her. That's female captives. Okay. Firstborn inheritance rights. This is 15, 16, 17. If a man has two wives, one loved and the other unloved, and they have borne him children, both the loved and unloved, and if the firstborn son is of her who is unloved, then it shall be on the day he is bequeath his possessions to his son, that he must not bestow firstborn statute on the son of the loved wife, and present to the son of the unloved, the true firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the unloved wife as the firstborn by giving him a double portion of all that he has, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of his firstborn is his. Basically, what I take from that is no matter. So, there's two wives. Nowadays, we have one husband, one wife, and they're together. But when it comes to people, it doesn't matter whether you like that person or not. The truth is the truth, and you respect that truth. And because he's unloved, you give him more. And it's not, or because, not him, but the person is unloved, you give him more. And, I don't know. I know that, like, back in Deuteronomy and now, like, New Testament, Old Testament, things have changed. But also at the same time, like, they're still fundamentally, like, the same laws. Like, the Ten Commandments. And, the Ten Commandments, for a good prime example. Like, that's one of the biggest laws that still is set in stone. It's still what it is. Okay. Now, the rebellious son. If a man has a stubborn and rebellious son who will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and who, when they have chastened him, will not heed them, then his father and his mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of the city, to the gates of his city. And they shall say to the elders of the city, This son is our stubborn and this son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is glutton and he is drunkard. Then all the men of the city shall stone him to death with stones. So you shall put away the evil from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. So, like back in the old, back then, your child was a jerk and did not obey one of the Ten Commandments, which is honor your father and mother, and, listen to them, then they stoned you to death. However, nowadays we don't stone people to death. Because we don't. Even Jesus said, cast the first stone. But, like nowadays, we do have kids that do not listen to their father and mother. And we do have these things. And I do think that things can change. People can change. And I do believe that the good Lord will help. But in the sense of, when you have a problem with your kids nowadays, you bring them out into the city and you help them get the things that they need. Sometimes kids need a wake-up call. Sometimes kids need therapy. Sometimes kids need counseling. Sometimes kids need medication. I'm not saying medication is the answer to all, but, just sometimes that is what's needed. And sometimes kids need boot camp, and sometimes kids need, like I said, a wake-up call to reality. And it says, and all of Israel shall hear and fear them. And I just think, like, that's what I think, that we all should hear and fear that we need to seriously honor our father and mother. And I know everybody has like a lot of people have bad relationships with their parents, but your parents are not supposed to be your best friend. Your parents are supposed to parent you. And yes, there's drug addict parents and parents who allow sexual assault and things like that, but as an adult, you need to forgive, not for them, but to forgive for yourself and grow with God. And you gotta honor your father and mother. You gotta. I get it. It's hard. It's hard sometimes, but you got to. Okay, that's the end of my little rant tangent. And oh, sorry. There is the miscellaneous law. This is 22 through 23. I didn't even see these. Okay. If a man has committed a sin deserving of death, and he is put to death, and you hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain overnight on the tree, but you shall surely bury him that day, so that you do not defile the land which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. For he who has hanged is accursed of God. So that's the miscellaneous laws. So this is 22 through, well, I'll be reading 22, verses 1 through 30 in next video. So if you guys want to learn more about like what the Deuteronomy laws and stuff are, because they're good to know, and I think they're awesome. We have how many verses, how many chapters? Oh, we're in Joshua now. Hold on. So we are on 22 out of 34. So I'm excited. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!